how can you tell that this particular lifetime is real? That this particular experience is authentic? Why bother? Because if you are familiar with the out-of-body experiences, you might know that there are so-called belief system areas out there, located somewhere on spiritual plan and dedicated to people based on their own beliefs. Being a kind of a mirror of those beliefs. So if there are some beliefs, main beliefs present within a person's mindset, those beliefs may shape their experience on the other side, on the spiritual plan. And they may shape their experience to even to a high degree, in which the whole experience will be almost like a prison. You might perceive this situation like a person is locked within their own beliefs, shaping their own reality on the spiritual plan. And for those people, the whole thing is amazingly real. This is the thing which often repeats itself in people's experiences from the other side, that the whole thing is so convincingly real and authentic. Not only belief system areas, but the whole experience on the spiritual plan often is even more real than this life on the physical plan, on Earth, for example. And this is amazing. But especially when it comes to the belief system areas, this high level of reality, authenticity, makes the whole experience credible for those people. In other words, they don't question it. For those people, their experience is their life, the main one, the most real, authentic, and credible one. They perceive this experience as as their real life, as the one, for example, in which I'm currently recording those words. For those people, their experience on the spiritual plan is real, although we know that it is shaped by their beliefs. It mirrors their beliefs, even to a high degree. And the whole situation may be active for a long time until their mindset changes on their own, or maybe someone will help them, so-called helpers. Maybe you have heard about so-called retrievals, which consists of someone who is trained to visit those people, those beings living on their own belief system areas, trying to open their mind or change their mind, enlighten them, inspire to look somewhere else, to look through, so to speak, and see that this is not the case. What is happening now? This is not the case. This is not necessarily real, so real as it looks like. The most important thing about it is that most often, if not always, the whole experience is real without a question. Until something happens. As I have said before, their mindset would change by itself, or someone would come and help them. But if this experience on the spiritual plan may be so authentic in perception, how can we be sure? How can we be certain that this very moment, for example, you are listening to me now, is real, is authentic? How can we be sure that this is the life which is the most real, the reality? You may come with a conclusion that if it is possible for one to be completely convinced that the current experience is real, if this is possible, that I can feel totally convinced without a question that this is completely real, and in the same time the whole experience may be a belief system, just that, on the spiritual plan. If this is possible, then I can't be sure that this life, this very moment now, is real. It's not possible to determine. If the level of authenticity may be so high that we don't question it, we can't determine, we can never be sure. Is the current experience real? So I personally have drawn the conclusion that it is not possible to be 100% sure And if I can't be certain about it, what I should do, what approach I should take to handle my life. If I even don't know, if I even can't determine if this life is the real one, or maybe this is an experience on the spiritual plan, or maybe a belief system, or maybe a dream. What approach could be a good one in this situation for one to take? I think that this is a good thing that we can't be sure, because this way it doesn't disrupt the process, it doesn't disrupt what really matters in any experience we are going through. Because what really matters, what is the most important thing in any experience, is that very experience itself. Or, to put it differently, its core message. What can you learn from it? What can you learn from this experience? I think it's not so important if this experience is real, if this experience is in fact alive on the physical plan, or maybe on a spiritual plan within a belief system, or maybe a dream, or whatever. I think it's not so important what it is. What is important is the very experience itself, its core message, what I could learn out of it. Because probably every experience may teach us something new. You know, the other day I have visualized this situation like you are sitting at a table and there is a book in front of you. And now, instead of reading this book, you are constantly wondering, is this book real? Is this book authentic? Maybe it would be better just to read it, just to check what it contains. Because whatever its source, it may consist of some valuable knowledge which we could use for our own spiritual growth's sake. So you might look at the whole situation this way, that the most important thing, what really matters, is the content. And instead of wondering, is it real? You could simply open the book and start reading. Focus on this with the intention of drawing as much knowledge and experience from it, out of it, as possible. This approach to life may free you from all the confusion, all the possible confusion about, is it real or not, what it is it the experience on the physical plan, or maybe is it the experience on the spiritual plan? I think it doesn't matter. It isn't so important as the core value. Let alone that the very term real is maybe pretty questionable. But this is a completely another story about the reality of material things, the reality of everything which we experience here on Earth, for example, on Earth. Speaking of our own lives, or what our senses bring to us through sounds, images, smells, and so on. This very subject may be surprising if you would like to dig a little bit. Down the rabbit hole, discovering that all of those things may not be so real as we think of it, as we used to think of it. But this is another story, as I've mentioned. This time I would like to focus on what may be the most important thing is the content, what your book consists of. Reading the book in front of you, because the time span this book is in fact placed in front of you may be limited. After a while, this experience may change, switch to another one. So it depends on you. What you do with that chance to growth. Because every book, each book which you experience may give you a value, another step in your evolution. In other words, you may benefit out of each book you experience, so to speak. But of course, it is possible for you to miss 1, 2, 3 books and so on, miss the point, wondering on the nature of the experience instead of its content. So this is all what I want to convey this time. Thank you for your attention, time, and have a good day.